Hi, I'm Andy Parkin, Managing Director of the multi-award winning Screed. I'm here today to talk about thin Screed products. So when we're talking about thin Screed products, we're looking at how thin the products can actually go in certain applications. So we need to know what that construction is, and how thin it will be determined generally by how the floor construction is made up. And we're looking at three particular types of floor construction. So that's the screed being bonded, the screed bonded directly to the substrate, concrete, etc. Unbonded, that's where a membrane comes in between the structural substrate and the screed. And floating construction, that's where insulation and possibly a membrane come in between the concrete and the screed. So each one of those different types will allow a different minimum depth. So if we look at each one separately, and I'll give you an outline of what the general capabilities of the products that are available can go down to. So if we're looking at the bonded situation, so when we're bonding, we're always looking at using a bonding agent, a primer. There may be surface preparation that needs to be carried out, but we'll not go into that right now. But assuming that the substrate is suitable for bonding, you will be looking at, if we look at a smoothing compounds, then generally they'll go directly onto concrete from what they term as feather edge. So you're looking at around about a mil thick. So that's with a primer. For a modified sand and cement, you're looking at a minimum depth of 10 mil for that. So that's your fast drying type screeds. Maybe even your quick strength gain screeds, so your rapid strength gain screeds. If we look at a traditional screed, so that's such as your 1 to 4, then you're looking at a minimum of 40 mil for that, as defined by the British standard. So then if you move on to unbonded, and when we're talking about unbonded, we're talking about putting a membrane in between the substrate and the screed. So this will mean that you've then got to increase the thickness. So the smoothing products, a lot of them you can't put them onto a membrane. So 99% of them you can't put them onto a membrane. But there are products out there that will start at around about 15 mil. So you're looking at 15 mil upward to kind of 50 mil for the smoothing compounds. You've then also got the modified sand and cements. So you're looking at a minimum depth of 35 mil for those products, the fast dry, rapid strength. And for traditional screeds, such as the 1 to 4, 1 to 3, you'd be looking at a minimum of 50 mil for those products. The flowing screeds, the calcium sulfate, you'd be looking at unbonded at 30 mil for those products. So the floating construction on insulation and possibly a membrane. For a flowing screed, you'd be looking at domestically 35 mil, commercially 40 mil, so that's for such as the calcium sulfate screeds. For these modified sand and cements, they would start at 35 mil for a rapid strength product. For a traditional screed, you'd be looking at 65 mil for domestic, 75 mil if it's going to be commercial. So I hope that gives you an idea of the minimums for the products, and hopefully you can put that into context of what your particular substrate and build-up is going to be. If you do have any further questions, would like any further advice, please get in touch and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.